Flooding reaches alarming levels. Nondalal fights court ruling against 2 government MPs. And are cows the most deadliest animals in Guyana? No, I'm not joking. I am Noriko Bulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Before we begin, do you have something important you want to leak without revealing your identity? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. While the waters have receded in Georgetown and the surrounding areas, the rest of the nation is not getting off so easily. The worst hit is the village of Kokwani in Region 10. They are now under 14 feet of water from the Berbice River, forcing dozens to evacuate their homes. Villages in Region 5 have also reported flooding. In Region 3, the floodwaters have begun to recede in Canal Number 1, but the damage to the agriculture in the area has already been done. Farmers have already claimed millions in losses, including dead livestock and washed-away crops. Residents in Region 2 are also struggling to cope. Overhead observations from the CDC even show many fields are still underwater, while in Region 6, residents of the Cookright Savannah are fearful as water levels are rising there as well. Several communities in Regions 7, 8, and 9 are currently inundated, leaving some already remote areas even more isolated than ever before. PPP-nominated GCOM commissioners have tabled 3 motions seeking the immediate dismissal of Lowenfield, Mingo, and Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers. Yes, despite having been charged and currently being before the courts, they are still working at GCOM, presumably still receiving a taxpayer-funded salary. Lowenfield is faced with 3 counts of misconduct in public office and 3 counts of forgery, while Mingo is charged with 4 counts of misconduct in public office and Myers with 2 counts of misconduct. The National Rum Shop is finally taking down the photos of government-appointed non-voting members Vikash Ramkissoon and Sarah Brown, over a month after Chief Justice Roxanne George ruled that their appointments were illegal. But they stopped short of actually declaring the 2 seats vacant in Parliament. Despite this, Nondalal has all intentions of fighting the High Court ruling, saying that the Chief Justice erred in her interpretation of the Constitution. He believes that the 2 must continue to sit in the National Assembly because they are also parliamentary secretaries. Apparently, the whole controversy surrounds the fact that the 2 ran on the PPP's official list of candidates, but were declared non-voting members when they were appointed to be parliamentary secretaries. The issue is now whether they can sit in the House as non-voting MPs. But if you ask me, I feel that Nondalal just can't take being wrong. Shortly after midnight, 7 persons were injured after a cow caused a car crash in Berbice. The car was reportedly speeding when 2 cows began to cross the road, forcing the driver to swerve into a nearby trench. They were all treated at the New Amsterdam hospital with injuries of varying severity. All 7 of the passengers. They are all currently in stable condition. A breathalyzer test proved that the driver was completely sober at the time of the accident. She was arrested anyway and was served a notice of intended prosecution, which basically means they are still unsure what to charge her with, but they still decided to take her in. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2009 Toyota Axial. It comes with mag rims, new tires, DVD stereo, reverse camera, and much more. Buy cash for $2.7 million, or pay down as low as $540,000 with around $61,000 monthly for 4 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peterborough Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. On Wednesday, 19-year-old Richard Harrychand was sentenced to 4 years in prison for the murder of 17-year-old Clive Osborne. Harrychand had previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Upon handing down the sentence, Justice Singh added that 30 years is the base sentence for manslaughter, but after careful deliberation, he deducted 10 years for the early plea, 3 years for his expression of remorse, 5 years for voluntary confessing, 3 years for a favorable probation report, 3 years for youthfulness, and 2 years for the time already spent on remand, bringing Harrychand's total sentence to 4 more years. Wow, magistrates really have some wide latitude with these sentences. On Tuesday, the police located the body of 37-year-old Brazilian gold miner Alessandro Foss in the Middle Mazaruni River just 3 days after he was reported missing. Foss was last seen alive on Saturday on a dredge located near Poppy Show Landing. He was found floating in the river. Police did not notice any marks of violence on his body. Over in Kumaka, last night, a trip to the bar ended with a trip to the hospital for 25-year-old Ian Bovel after he got into a drunken brawl with a man and apparently lost the fight. The altercation between Bovel and the man occurred at the Kumaka waterfront in Mabaruma, and it involved him getting stabbed multiple times about the body with a broken Guinness bottle. Ouch. Bovel had to get a couple stitches, while the man is currently on the run. Here's a pro tip, people, for all you drinkers out there. Never pick a fight with someone who drinks Guinness. If they're willing to destroy their taste buds, they're willing to strike you with a bottle. Just ask DJ Yannick. Are you a truck owner that is losing money due to downtime while you wait for your parts to be imported? Now that is just stupid. Truck parts are already in Guyana at Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts. They stock spares for DAF, Bedford TM, International Freightliners, and Cummins engines. Check them out at 1161 EE Eccles, or WhatsApp them at 6970171. Tell them the Rico sent you and get a discount. It's now time for today's Runner Report. Today, the nation recorded 143 new cases. There are now 396 persons dead, 19 persons in the ICU, 1,718 persons in home isolation. The total number of confirmed cases now stands at 17,257. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Continuing in Rona news, yesterday the Ministry of Health announced some 201,347 persons have been vaccinated, representing 41.4% of our adult population, while 69,486 persons, or 14.3% of our population, have received their second dose. Nevertheless, the ministry is still appealing for more people to take the vaccine, as experts believe that we would need to fully vaccinate 500,000 Guyanese to reach herd immunity. Do you want to grow your money? Sell Digicel Top-Up. Become a top-up vendor through Cellular Plus and make some extra cash to supplement your income at your business or your side hustle. Call 685-3109 for more info. 42-year-old engineer Jian Du was arrested and charged for trying to use a forged document at the airport on May 25th of this year. He pleaded guilty and was fined $80,000. The court didn't say what the document was, but something tells me that it may have been a fake Rona test. I'm just saying, but hey, I could be wrong. Now it's time for our stupid news of the day. Would you think I'm crazy if I told you that it is my firm belief that cows are the most dangerous animals in Guyana? I know, but listen to me now. After years of following the news, I can tell you that I have never heard of a jaguar or a camoodie seriously maiming and injuring 7 people in one go. But it seems like every few weeks someone dies or they are seriously injured in an accident caused by a cow. And these are only counting the cases when the driver survived to actually give us the cause of the accident. There was once a time where the police would confiscate your animals if they are running around unattended at night. But nowadays, cops would rather hassle you for a raise than to maintain road safety. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that cows have to graze, but animals shouldn't be out and about at night on the roads, especially how dark these roads are. Especially also when you think about the fact that some of these cows are so brazen that they expect you to wait on them to cross the road and not the other way around. All I'm saying is that we obviously need common sense traffic laws that take into consideration our agrarian roots. We still are an agrarian nation by far, because town is barely 10 square miles. Yes, there's many problems of national importance, but I think this one is an easy one to fix. Just pressure the police to enforce the laws already on the books regarding this. Besides, do you know how hard it is to report on killer cows with the straight face? The joke honestly writes itself. but I can't make it because people think you're kinda messed up to laugh at other people's demise, even if it's a silly demise. But if you ask me, allowing dozens of Guyanese to get injured and killed each year in cow-caused accidents is pretty stupid. Hey Guyanese business people, are you looking for a great way to advertise your business? Search no more. Join one of the fastest growing business directories in Guyana. Register your business on snap.gy and get access to more eyeballs. And wait for the best part, it's absolutely free. Get your business listed today on snap.gy. Moving on to our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what suggestions would you give to GPL to improve service? Richie K said, nothing unifies Guyana quite like frequent power outages. Take to the streets and demand changes. I agree with you, Richie. I agree. Shane Isley said, the only thing that'll fix GPL is another power company sets up shop in Guyana. You'll see just how fast they'll become competent. The only reason they are the way they are is because the average citizens don't really have a choice. Edit. And they still owe me $4,000 since September 2020. Well, that's ridiculous, Shane. You need to get your money. Jenna J said, GPL needs to change the people in power, because they prove to be a bunch of waste, just swelling their pocket, while the small man gotta go through many inconveniences. I agree with you. And Carl Somwa, well, he actually didn't answer the question, but I just couldn't pass this one up. He said that he votes we put the opposition and the government on ExxonMobil's drill ship and sail them out into the Pacific Ocean. Carl, I second that motion. Can I get a third from anyone in the audience? So for tonight's question, would you support mandatory minimum sentences for violent crimes, or should magistrates still have the freedom to set the sentence lengths as they currently do? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Thursday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.